Here we go, LeBron James. Given the MVP yesterday, LeBron came out on the isolation and And then later in the first, Dude, he's the MVP. Legs, what happened to the MVP early?
I've never seen LeBron James so subdued in a basketball game since he came into the league. Just offensively, could not put his stamp on it at any point through the first three quarters.
Just 2 for 5, 8 points in the first half, second quarter. Celtics up 4. Rasheed Wallace. Why hasn't he been doing this all year long?
I tell you what, he got called out by Doc Rivers, and I give him credit. He responded. His first 5 buckets, 13 points in the first half. A huge lift for the Celtics off that bench.
Then Tony Allen goes 1-on-3. Celtics bench goes on a 12-0 run with a big 3 now on the bench. Cavs down 12. LeBron finally a little bit legs.
Well, it showed something. I mean, 12 points in the fourth quarter. The game was well out of reach by the time he really got aggressive in this basketball game.
But then LeBron turns it over. Kendrick Allen dishes to Ray Allen for the layup. The Boston Celtics, they didn't just steal game 2 in Cleveland. They put on a mask and went out and robbed them. Final score, 104-86. Rajon Rondo had a great first half in game 1, has a great total game in game 2. Rajon Rondo put on a passing exhibition in this game. 19 assists in the win. That ties the all-time Celtics playoff record, which he did last season, and Bob Cousy did twice. And amazingly, Lex, he had 19 assists in this game. He did not have a single assist in the fourth quarter, and you heard him allude to that. He said, we got to do what we did the first 3 quarters of this game. I'm a little stunned, and I'm not just stunned that Boston won a game in Cleveland. Didn't really expect it, but it shouldn't be a surprise. But the way that Boston handled the best team in the league this year, what does that say to you?
Yeah, I'm not surprised the Celtics won the game. I expected them to win the game. I said they were going to win this game, but I didn't expect them to do it in this fashion. And Cleveland, to me, is a team that at home all year, their trademark has been suffocate you for a 6 or 8 minute stretch in the second half defensively. Get the energy up in the building, get out in transition. LeBron be spectacular for a few plays, and all of a sudden you put a team away. You take their confidence away from them. They start questioning themselves. Never happened in this game. LeBron James just never got involved in this game offensively. And I'm not just talking about numbers. He's going to end up with 24 points, 12 of those well after the game was decided. It's about his impact in trying to make plays and his aggressiveness. It just wasn't there. Is the elbow bothering him? I know LeBron James, the kind of guy, will never use that as an excuse, but you cannot tell me something wasn't wrong with his elbow. He did not feel he had the ability to do anything with this team offensively, and Boston was in a great rhythm on the other end of the court. On their own offensive end, that was a difference in the game. They had a big help from their bench in the first half, built that lead up, came out in the third quarter and jumped them. And traditionally, that is the Cavaliers' quarter in that building. They dominate teams in the third quarter out of the locker room. Boston flipped the tables on them. They got in their face up 25 points at one point in the game in the second half, and then they just basically held on.
We'll hear post-game and the press conferences from this as soon as they are available. Stay with us. Legs, question for you. Yesterday, LeBron James received the MVP award in Akron, Ohio, his hometown. He had his whole team there. Yeah. He invited his whole team up on the stage with him to accept the award. Nice show of team support. But how could that have affected, if any way, the game today?
I really don't think it did. And people are wondering if it's put more pressure on LeBron James winning the MVP, that he's got to win a title this year. I don't think so. I think the reason the pressure is amped up for LeBron James, this is the first time he's gone into the postseason with the best team in the league. This year, they're expected to win the championship, and that's the first time LeBron James can say that since he's been in an NBA uniform. Now he's got the supporting cast. There are no excuses. They were the best defensive team in the league this year. He has enough options offensively. They need to get it done this year. I think that's what he's feeling, more so than getting the MVP to validate anything. He knows those awards are going to come. He thinks he finally has a team in place to win a championship. I just think something was not right with him in this game. You could just tell, back on his heels, very passive, even passing the basketball, making plays. Wasn't looking for a jump shot. Celtics were giving him the 3, wouldn't take it. Very, very questionable today how LeBron James played offensively. It affected that entire roster, and it shows you they're not good enough without him playing at a high level offensively to beat a team as good defensively as Boston is.
11 p.m. East Coast time right now, 8 p.m. on the West Coast. Sports Center will be with you still for yet another hour. I spoke with LeBron James after his MVP award yesterday, and we talked about several things. One of them, the balance of winning an MVP and an individual award while you chase a team championship. In game 1 of this series, the Celtics had a big lead. The Cavaliers came back. So the Celtics played well enough to win. Cleveland knows that the Celtics played well enough to win game 1 and beat them in game 2, so theoretically, Cleveland could be down 0-2. How does that affect their psyche going to Boston?
There's no question right now. Their confidence is rattled a little bit. And I don't care what they say. They're going to say all the right things. It's just one game. They're going to say all those cliche comments after the game tonight. We're fine. We just got to go there and get one to get home court back. There's no doubt in my mind that right now they're questioning things a little bit. And that coaching staff, I think, is feeling it a little bit because the Boston Celtics were more prepared the first 2 games of this series. They executed everything they wanted to do offensively, defensively. Their game plan was perfect tonight. They crowded the paint, forced other guys to make jump shots and beat them. They weren't able to do it. But this game really came down to the fact that Boston was so good offensively, Cleveland never got any rhythm in transition because Boston flat out was making shots. When you're taking the ball to the net all night, very difficult to get out, get easy shots, get to the foul line, establish any sort of rhythm offensively when you're back on your heels defensively, and that's what Boston did to them. Each guy on that team took turns tonight at some point taking over the basketball game.